like putting makeup on my cheeks.
Hello and welcome to Coffee Mantras, Love Mantras, where we are speaking to experts in various fields to gather nuggets that help us to understand love. We have with us today a Shemantran who is a counseling psychologist, parenting coach, a children mental health expert, and author working with parents, tweens, teens, and adults with over 18 years of rich experience. Who better than her to answer our questions on love equations between parents and children, especially teenagers? Please help me welcome our very own expert, Kavita Yadav. Hi, Kavita.
Hi, Kavita. Thank you so much for having me in Coffee Mantra.
I am super excited to finally do this interview with you, even though it's through Coffee Mantra, because we've been talking about it for such a long time.
Oh, yes, I know, but it's better late than never, as it is
Yes,
said.
absolutely. So let me get to the first question that I have for you, which is on many parents' mind. Teenhood is a very complex phase of life for children. They're going through so many physical, emotional, and intellectual changes. They're coping with a variety of issues. And some of these issues can cause a lot of tension between parents and teenagers. There are a lot of fights, sibling fights, homework, boundaries, trust issues, you name it. These conflicts seem to take over our life. And as a parent who has been through this, I can say that it was one of the most difficult years of my parenting journey. So, here we have you as an expert, and we would like you to share with us some nuggets that can help us as parents cope with this difficult time in a child's life.
Okay. Kavita, to start off, first thing is that I've done this mistake, and I hear you saying that you have also done the same mistake. It's like we forget that we have been teens once. Like that serial that used to come, Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi kinds. Like, so we were also teens, and as parents, we forget that. We all have been through these teenage years, the transition from childhood to adulthood. And it is a well known fact that teens have a very, very strong desire to be independent. They want to experience what independence is actually like, right? So, however, not for all the parents, but for many, it is still very hard to accept and adjust when their teens start asserting their individuality. And very often, Kavita, parents take this personally. The parental ego comes in between. And parents hold on to the belief that they know what is best for their children.
Absolutely.
So I'm not confronting this thought as such, but still in today's time, children know what they want. They are very clear on that. And so this list can be endless. But to answer your question, I would say parents, we always need to remember the first C of parenting, the alphabet C. And here by C, I mean communication. So keep the doors of communication open and communicate your love for your child. Praise them, appreciate them for their efforts. Hug them. I know they resist. They say, "माँ क्या फालतू का कर रहे हो? हम बड़े हो गए हैं." But एक जादू की झप्पी and the magic happens. Kiss them. Kiss them while they are sleeping. Kiss them out of the blue on their cheeks, on their forehead. Be very clear and specific in your praise button. And to support them emotionally, I would say be a good listener first. Listen to really understand. Do not jump to conclusions. And then, lastly, I would say, but not the least, respect. Respect your teens for who they are. Respect them for their creativity. Respect them for their out of box thinking. Right? Respect them that they're trying to find the path themselves. In today's fast paced, technology driven world, it's a great thing that they're doing. That's my take on your question out there.
So you're saying communicate, listen, and respect.
Yes.
And I think the last one is the most challenging for parents, if you ask me, right? When there's a lot of rebellious nature going on, and when we have to stand there and respect what they're doing, I think that's where the challenge comes in, and suddenly love flies out of the window, I think. So, and the things that you're telling me, right? A lot of it signifies unconditional love.
Oh,
Correct?
yes.
And
Yes.
when I speak to parents these days, I spoke to a parent today and she said, there's nothing called unconditional love. Everything is conditional, Kavita. It cannot be there. Does not exist. Imagine, you have no idea what I'm going through. So, what do you say to those parents who are feeling that right now? No, how do you hug a child and kiss a child when they're throwing tantrums at you? So, if you have any tips, other than communicate, listen, and respect, is there something else that you can share with us that can help us go sail through these years?
Okay, so I do understand the space from where that mother was coming, that when a child is howling all over the place and being rebellious, certainly it's difficult to keep your calm, to make peace. But I'll say it is still doable, right? But the mantra is that if you want to sail smoothly through these teenager years, no, Kavita, you have to start early as a parent.
That's the trick.
That's the mantra. That's the trick, right? You can't expect all of a sudden to magic happen in these, that these bumpy years are there with you, right? And that you go out and from market, you buy a Fevicol ko jode, tootega nahi, no, nothing happens. There's no adhesive like that keeps us and a teenage together. But it is still doable, I would say. And honestly, because I lived this with my two daughters,
Yes.
I started early with them.
Very.
And today they are teens, both are teens, and that's what I mean, I'm blessed. That's all I can say. So, therefore, with full conviction, I can say it is possible, start early.
I
Keep
think
a check. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, just say what you were saying.
No, I said that's a great tip, starting early, because we wait till the problem starts and then we think of a solution. But, with people like you there in the market today, I think, like there are so many psychologists, psychiatrists who can help us with this. And like you said, right, you also deal with parents, not just children. And so as parents, I think it's our responsibility to reach out and ask for help, is what I'm understanding from what you're saying.
Absolutely. So before we jump onto children, it is we who need to unlearn what we learned in our childhood while we were growing up. Because times have totally changed. You would understand and agree to this, right? So
Absolutely.
as a parent, keep a check on yourself that we are a parent of a teen now. And let's see that are we mostly giving them that negative feedback? Are we always telling them what they've not done right? Or are we constantly comparing them in our head? Maybe we are not saying that out loud, but we are doing that at the back of our mind. And then that reflects in our behavior out when we are with them. So we need to pause and reflect, Kavita. Teenagers, they do need feedback. They do need our guidance. And I'd say they also look up to us as parents for that. But how do we do that is something that we have to be very mindful of. Right? So we must try and make our feedbacks more constructive, appreciative, and inspiring for our teenagers out there. And trust me, it helps. So to develop a relationship, I mean, with your teen, you allow them age appropriate independence and you also let them have their share of responsibilities. And lastly, I would say for this, like provide a safe and loving home environment.
Lovely, Kavita. And I'm sure any parent listening who does not know or understand how to do this, they can just reach out to you, I'm sure. So I have one last question for you. Can you tell us how love between a parent and a child has changed or evolved in the last few years? A lot has changed. So if you can just tell us what you feel has changed.
Okay, so the two thoughts that are coming to my mind right now. Has love really changed? Does love change? Can love change?
Wow.
Okay. So if I look at it, when I was growing up, the love I felt from my parents was they being around me when I needed them. Right. My mother used to cook the food of my choice when I used to come back from hostel while I was in my teenage years, because I'm talking about teenage, right? So that was love that I felt from her. And when I was like down with fever or some toothache, she used to sit beside me and just be there. So that's the love that I knew while I was growing up. In today's time, I'm a working mom. There are moments, I'll be very honest, when maybe I'm not there when my child is like having fever. I'm on the phone. Always there with them, but that physical thing is not there. But does that change the love? Is something that needs to be introspected. Because
Wow.
for me, love is love. Your way of expressing it may change because the times have changed. Now mothers are working, they're stepping out, right? But love remains love. So I see it from that angle.
Wow.
But just remember to express your love. Express it to your children. What I mean.
Kavita, thank you so much. This was just a short nugget that we got from you, but lot of good takeaways, and really appreciate your time. And to people who are watching this interview, does love really change? It's a question that you need to think about and tell us after you watch this interview. Kavita, thank you again for your time and look forward to doing a longer session with you.
Thank you, Kavita, for having me. It was really lovely being here.
Thank
Thanks.
you.